you went from being a real estate developer to the president. That's a pretty bad. I never thought of it that way. I guess I'm the most upwardly mobile politician in history. I didn't make any stops along the way. It will be the greatest honor of my life to serve not once, but twice, or 3 times, or 4 times. Headlines from the fake news. Now it will be to serve twice. For the next 4 years, I will not rest. I will not yield.
Although Donald Trump was unfortunately inaugurated only a few days ago, he is already out having rallies once again. Doesn't want to spend any time focusing on those prices he promised to bring down. No. He needs the adoring crowd cheering him on, screaming his name like it's the campaign all over again. And you might be thinking, well, it's not the campaign. This is his second term. How did he win 2 terms? But this is his second term. He can't run for president again. Well, Donald Trump doesn't think so. And it was a moment in which he let that be clear in his speech that things really took a shocking turn, and we are going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me. Now, let's get into this insane speech.
The United States has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we may be a very substantially enlarged country in the not too distant. Isn't it nice to see, for years, for decades, we're the same size to the square foot, probably got smaller actually, but we might be an enlarged country pretty soon. And one of the things we're going to be doing is drill, baby, drill.
It is very clear why Donald Trump wants to expand our territory, seize the Panama Canal by Greenland, Canada, the 51st state. Well, maybe it's not one reason, it's certainly 2. The first is Donald Trump wants something for his legacy besides January 6th, which is or should be the only thing we remember him for, but he wants something to stick his name on. That's what he spent his entire career doing. Not actually building anything or doing good business. No, he would just put his name on stuff, and that's what he wants to do with this expansion of territory. But at the same time, it's also a really great distraction. Donald Trump wants to wave, the shiny object in the face of his supporters or the press who want to latch on to that, instead of talking about how egg prices are skyrocketing right now. And that was a thing that Donald Trump ran on. But of course, we're not going to do that anymore. But again, this is all the distraction. And speaking of which, Donald Trump decided to throw in a little bit more distraction with what he said right here.
To the border. Yeah. She said no tax on it. How about just no tax? You could do that. If the tariffs work out like I think, a thing like that could happen, if you want to know the truth. Years ago, 1870 to 1913, we didn't have an income tax. What we had is tariffs, where foreign countries came in and they stole our jobs, they stole our companies, they stole our product, they ripped us off. And, they used to do numbers, and then we went to a tariff system, and the tariff system made so much money. It was when we were the richest, from 1870 to 1913. Then we came.
The man is he is not smart. I don't know how we got this idea conflated that being good at business, which Donald Trump is not, mind you, somehow means that you understand the government or can figure that out. Donald Trump is a disaster economic policy. I don't even want to say he's a disaster with economic policy, because that makes you think that he might have some bad takes or bad belief. He just actually doesn't know anything. He has never spoken clearly or with any intellectual capability about any economic issue ever. He just screams the word tariffs. And that's his plan. A plan, by the way, that the business leaders who even have endorsed Donald Trump have told him and said publicly would be a complete mess. But again, he does not care. And on the subject of not caring, the worst thing Donald Trump said in this entire speech, which I do care about, we can see right here.
About that, I said, everybody's going to empty out their prisons into our country. I said that. I'd do that if I were heading up any one of the many countries that you know about, not just South America, all over. They take their prisons, their mental institutions, and they empty them out into our country. Can you imagine a person doing this? Can you imagine somebody doing that to our country? For Americans,
I know that hypocrisy and shamelessness is at the core of what Donald Trump and MAGA at large do every single day. That's their whole shtick, but fear-mongering about prisons being emptied into the United States, those prisons of violent criminals, when a couple of days ago, you quite literally emptied a prison of violent insurrectionist, cop-beating criminals onto the streets of D.C. To go across the country and be spurred on to more political violence is insane. I'm giving like a cool tone right now when I saw that clip for the first time. I struggled. It hurt. How is this the case? How is this our president? It doesn't feel real to say it is disgusting what Donald Trump did on January 6th. It is disgusting the way he has talked about it since. And it's like it hasn't even fully settled with me that he pardoned those people. Let them all out. Who cares? Is what Donald Trump said. It's horrifying. And that he would continue to talk about them the way he does. Like we'll see in this clip. I just can't.
Pardoned hundreds of political prisoners who had been viciously persecuted by the Biden regime. Hundreds of people were persecuted, including Christians, pro-life activists, 2 Washington, D.C. police officers just yesterday, whose lives were destroyed from chasing down a dangerous illegal alien criminal. And of course, I was very proud to pardon the J6 hostages.
It's heartbreaking at this point, the way that he's talking about these people. And what's really sad to me, and I know that there are a lot of MAGA people on Twitter, is these videos of the January 6th hostage being reunited with their family. There's one video that particularly stood out today. It's a father and a son. Like, I miss my son so much. Joe Biden put me in jail. Lie the type of person to go to the Capitol to be part of a violent insurrectionist with a child at home is not a hero, because they were reunited with their child. They're a criminal one. They're un-American too. And they're a terrible parent. You have a child at home and you're so enamored with Donald Trump that you're going to go to the Capitol and fight for him. What is wrong with you? These people are crazy, and they've just been empowered even more by Donald Trump's actions to do whatever they want. It's scary, and the angry speech continues, as we'll see right here.
I signed an order that will end all of the lawless diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense all across the government and the private sector. We abolished 60 years of prejudice and hatred with the signing of one order, all approved by the United States Supreme Court. We're allowed to do it because we are now in a merit-based world. We're a merit-based country.
I'm sorry, y'all. I am struggling through this one. It was not an easy speech to watch with everything in mind. The attacks on immigrants today. Even though Donald Trump, I was about to say DUI, I was thinking about Donald Trump's own DE hire in Pete Hegseth, the DUI hire. But the speech, of course, like I said, had a moment which Donald Trump decided. But this is a campaign speech. It's not a presidential address. And you can tell that right here.
You went from being a real estate developer to the president. That's a pretty big, I never thought of it that way. I guess I'm the most upwardly mobile politician in history. I didn't make any stops along the way. It will be the greatest honor of my life to serve not once, but twice, or 3 times, or 4 times. Headlines from the fake news. Now it will be to serve twice. For the next 4 years, I will not rest, I will not yield, and together we will not fail, we will win.
Big reaction from the Constitution-loving crowd when Donald Trump says, the hell with it. Give me another term. Give me 2 more. All MAGA wanted to talk about is how old Joe Biden was. And now Donald Trump is going to be the oldest president ever. And they want 8 more years of that. When he's done, these people are crazy and the craziness. Donald Trump's head did not stop. It kept going right here.
That's what happened. I'm telling you, a young waitress, I won't say beautiful because you're not allowed to say that as a politician. Used to be you could say a young, beautiful waitress. This was a young, beautiful waitress, but I won't say that because I feel like I want to continue my political career. If you call the governor won't say it. If you call a woman beautiful today, it's the end of your political career, so I won't do it. But a young waitress, I think you can call young. You're probably not even supposed to say young. Probably supposed to say a waitress. But a young waitress came up and I said, "How are you doing?" And in my restaurant in the hotel, and Trump.
What is he saying? Why is this our president? I'm sorry. Like it's weighing on me. I just can't believe he's ridiculous. He's nonsensical. The crowd makes it even worse. Listen to this.
First, I withdrew from the World Health Organization, where we paid $500 million a year, and China paid $39 million a year, despite a much larger population. Think of that. China's paying $39 million to have 1.4 billion people. We pay $500 million. Nobody knows what the hell we have. Does anyone know? We have so many people pouring in. We have no idea.
There are epidemics springing up across the country. I saw tuberculosis in Kansas, bird flu, which is raising egg prices, and they're cheering for leaving the World Health Organization. It's painful, and we're going to have to combat it all, and we're doing it together. And I know I've been a little down in this video, but we're going to try to be back up and fighting and together. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.